Hey there, my fellow anglers and fishing fanatics. Welcome back to the channel. I'm your resident fishing expert, and today we're diving deep into what promises to be an absolutely scorching day on the water. We're talking about Friday, January 31st, 2026, across the vast and incredible fishing grounds of Australia. Now, this isn't just any summer's day, friends. We've got a potent combination of a powerful lunar phase and classic Australian summer conditions setting the stage. So whether you're chasing monsters offshore or looking for a feed in the estuaries, stick around, because I'm going to give you the insider's guide to making the most of this unique summer's bite. Let's break down where the action will be and how to tackle it. First up, for you brave souls heading offshore for game fish, this is your time. We're talking about speedsters like marlin, mahi-mahi, and yellowfin tuna. January is peak season for these incredible fighters along the east coast, particularly in regions like Queensland and New South Wales. The warm East Australian current is pumping, bringing baitfish and predators close. You'll want to target areas around current lines, bait schools, and offshore FADs, fish aggregating devices, or natural structures like canyon edges where water temperatures are consistently warm, around 23 to 26 degrees Celsius, 73 to 79 degrees Fahrenheit. For gear, heavy trolling setups with skirted lures in bright colors, pinks, blues, greens, or rigged natural baits like skipjack tuna or slimy mackerel will be your best bet. Remember, the stronger the current and the more bait, the higher your chances. Stay alert for bird activity, as that often signals feeding schools below. Next, for those of you preferring the inshore estuaries and a delicious meal, flathead and whiting will be reliable targets. These bread and butter species are active year-round, but thrive in the warm summer waters. In Queensland and northern New South Wales estuaries, look for flathead on sandy flats along drop-offs and around the mouths of creeks and rivers, especially during tidal changes. They'll be ambushing baitfish. Use light to medium spin gear with soft plastics, paddle tails or grub tails in natural colors, or live yabbies and prawns. Whiting will be in shallower sandy areas. A simple paternoster rig with a worm or peepee bait will do the trick. The warmer water, typically around 25 degrees Celsius, 77 degrees Fahrenheit, in places like the Gold Coast, means they're actively feeding. Don't forget the feisty Australian salmon. These hard-fighting fish are present year-round along coastal areas, especially in New South Wales and Victoria. Look for them busting up bait schools in surf gutters around rocky headlands and near estuary entrances. A metal slice lure, a small popper, or even a simple pilchard on a gang hook will get their attention. They're great fun on light to medium spinning gear and a real crowd pleaser on the beach. And for my freshwater friends, the mighty Murray Cod in regions like inland New South Wales and Victoria are always a fantastic challenge. While trout streams might be closed in some areas, the Murray Cod season is open. Focus on deep snags, fallen timber, and rocky banks in rivers and impoundments. Big spinnerbaits, deep-diving hard-body lures, or even large lipless crankbaits are prime offerings. Early morning and late evening, or even a night session, will be your best bet, as the cod will be more active in slightly cooler water during these times. Now for the nitty-gritty, the analysis of conditions that really dictate the bite. Weather. January 31st, 2026, falls squarely in the middle of the Australian summer. Expect very high temperatures across most of the continent. Daytime highs will likely hover around 30 to 36 degrees Celsius, 86 to 97 degrees Fahrenheit, in many areas, dropping to around 25 degrees Celsius, 77 degrees Fahrenheit, overnight in coastal regions. Inland, particularly in the southeast, we're seeing indications of an ongoing heat wave, with temperatures potentially pushing towards 45 degrees Celsius, 113 degrees Fahrenheit, or even higher in parts of outback Queensland. Atmospheric pressure is expected to be stable and high, often associated with clear skies and light northerly winds. This stable high pressure, while bringing the heat, can often settle the fish, making them less erratic. Wind will generally be light to moderate, perhaps picking up a little in the afternoons, which can be a blessing for those hot days. Precipitation is unlikely in most capital cities, with typically only one rainy day in January across much of Australia, though the far north might see more monsoonal activity. Water temperature. With high air temperatures, the water will be very warm. Coastal waters along the eastern and western seaboards, like Sydney and Perth, will average around 23 to 26 degrees Celsius, 73 to 79 degrees Fahrenheit. Even in cooler southern regions like Melbourne, expect 20 degrees Celsius, 68 degrees Fahrenheit, or slightly above. This consistent warmth pushes active feeding, especially for tropical and pelagic species, but can also send some cooler water species deeper for comfort. Moon phase. And here's a big one for many of us. January 31st, 2026, brings us a waxing gibbous moon, almost a full moon, with over 97% illumination. Many anglers swear by the full moon for active fish, especially for predatory species, hunting under the bright lunar light at night or during the low light periods around sunrise and sunset. This increased nocturnal activity can sometimes lead to a slower bite during the middle of the day, so keep that in mind. General fish activity. Overall, fish activity will be high, but with a caveat. The intense summer heat and bright conditions will make some fish, especially those in shallower waters, more cautious during the middle of the day. Offshore pelagics like marlin and tuna will be actively chasing bait in the warm currents. Inshore predators like flathead will be opportunistic, while whiting will be foraging in the shallows. Freshwater species like Murray cod will feed actively during cooler parts of the day. Expect a generally good but potentially capricious bite, especially during midday. So, my friends, my clear assessment for fishing on January 31st, 2026 in Australia is a good to excellent bite for offshore game fish and a solid, consistent bite for inshore species, with freshwater offering good opportunities during cooler hours. The high pressure will keep things stable, the warm water fuels active feeding, and the strong lunar influence from the near full moon should stir up those predators. The main challenge will be the heat, which might make the middle of the day slower, so focus on early mornings, late afternoons, and even night fishing for certain species. All right, my angling mates, that's your forecast for the 31st of January. I wish you all screaming reels and tight lines. May you have an incredible day out there. Remember to stay hydrated, wear sun protection, and fish responsibly. If you enjoyed this forecast, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future fishing reports. And tell me in the comments below, what are your plans for fishing this week? What species are you targeting in the Australian summer, and what's your secret weapon for the heat? I love hearing your stories and tips. Until next time, tight lines, everyone.